I started working on this show, I started working on Girls when I was 23. Now I'm almost 29. So that is, a huge chunk of my life, the majority of my 20s. And so it's so gratifying to see that process has actually meant something, that my relationships with the other girls in the cast are so strong. I mean, every year after the premiere, the next morning, I Instagram all the pictures from the premieres before, and this year getting to go like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it was surreal and lovely, and just to see the ways that we've grown and how nervous we were the first year and how last night we were able to kind of like kick our legs up and look around and actually be excited about where we were. It was an amazing thing.
Where does your real person starts and your fictional character, or is it hard to?
I would say that the more I grow up, the more I grow apart from Hannah. I would say she started as much closer to who I was, and that, the nature of my job and my life has forced me to mature in positive ways that Hannah hasn't necessarily had to. And the other thing that's funny is the show covers a shorter span of time. So for Hannah, I don't know the exact amount of time it's been, but we've covered, a year and a half, 2 years in the time of the show, but 5 years in the span of my life as I've worked on the show. So it's funny, I went from playing a character my own age to playing a character younger than me. And so it's this funny thing where the world of the show is smaller than the real world.
How important is success for you?
I think that what success represents to me is the ability to keep making your work. I grew up with artists, so I understand that a big part of the struggle is just finding people who support you so that you can make your work full time. And I know so many incredibly talented creative people who have to support themselves in other ways that exhaust them and don't allow them to pursue their craft full time. So for me, success means getting to be a full-time artist, and that's been the most wonderful part of working on Girls.
I think it's very open, realistic, and non-puritanical the way you approach sex and sexual relations in the show. How does one accomplish that, considering that you're surrounded by a very puritanical society?
It's a great question. I mean, for me, it was always really important that the show depict female human bodies and sexuality in a way that was realistic and wasn't destructive in its perfection. Didn't send a message that there was no other way to live than with a Victoria's Secret body. And it can be, I don't think I grew up in this very little world of the New York City art world where people, I went and saw people do naked performance art and, paint pictures of their wives' butts and whatever. And then I didn't realize that we were actually living in an extremely conservative, the majority of our society is much more conservative, and that, religion plays a big role in the way that people view things. And so it's definitely been an adjustment for me. That's why every time I go to Europe and talk about the show, or go to Latin America and talk about the show, and people's first question isn't like, how do you get naked on TV all the time? It's this incredible relief, because I feel people can almost see the work for what it is without the sort of like oppressive focus on what it means to reveal your body.
What was the impact for you to work with Judd Apatow and Jenny?
Judd Apatow and Jenny are incredible. They've made my whole career possible. They've taught me so much about what it means to create a narrative, what it means to create a continued narrative, which, because I'd written movies, but to create a continued narrative that you can sustain over 4 years, 5 years, that's a very different thing. And then also, they're two of my closest friends, and to have two, accomplished, brilliant, kind, charitable, inspiring best friends, that's a real gift.
And it took a long time, maybe not so long, to see women in shows like this. What do you think have changed, and do you think society is different, or women are, well, obviously they have stories to tell.
Well, I think women have always had stories to tell, and the other thing is that there's always been an audience for them. But somehow the fact that women make up a massive percentage, at this point, women make up a massive percentage of the audience. The fact that women make up a massive percentage of the audience, it took a long time for Hollywood to catch up with that fact and to realize, if there's this much female audience, then we should have female creators who understand the female audience and are making products that they want to see, because it's not 1860. Women have money in their wallets and want to go to the movies and want to buy DVDs and want to buy magazines, and I think that so much work for a long time sort of insulted the intelligence and the values of female viewership. And it's such an exciting year. I mean, at the Golden Globes this year, 4 out of 5 of the comedies nominated for Best Comedy have female showrunners. You know, you have Transparent, you have Jane the Virgin, you have Orange is the New Black, Girls. That's 4 shows that tell totally different stories, super diverse models of what it means to be female. And it's just such an incredible gift to be a part of a group like that and to realize this isn't a trend, this is the new reality.